that's the situation, Ken. I'm sorry, but all contracts with your company are terminated.
David puffed out his chest with a triumphant look on his face. I apologize for the disrespect towards you, David. Could you please reconsider?
That kind of apology won't change my mind. Are you sure about this? Your company will not only lose $50 million, but also make enemies worldwide.
What should I do?
Make me satisfied. It's simple, isn't it?
Then my phone rang in my breast pocket.
Go ahead, answer it. Maybe it's a call from your saving grace.
As it turned out, David was right. Hello, what? Oh, I don't mind. I was surprised by the caller and glanced at David's face. David, someone you know very well wants to talk to you. At that moment, I clearly saw David's confident smirk falter.
Hello. Why are you on this call? What? No way.
It seems that the goddess of victory really does exist. I am Ken Brown. I've been working at an event planning company for over 40 years. I was just a music lover who was passionate about making live performances of artists happen for the audience, just as I once wished for. I love this job because it allows me to provide great memories to people who are willing to pay high ticket prices and spend their time to see a live performance. And it's not just for the audience, but for the artists too. That moment when they deliver their best performance for the audience and the whole venue becomes one is a truly beautiful moment. For that, I'm willing to endure any hardship, especially for artists from overseas. I want them to create good memories in this country and know that the fans here are warm. That has always been my motivation, no matter how many years pass. I've said I'm willing to endure any hardship, but working in the entertainment industry has its tough moments. For example, rock bands and rappers often have a lot of wild ones. Many of them demand better treatment or complain about their performance slots at festivals. Moreover, I have to deal with dubious characters who call themselves assistants. I didn't care about my emotions or pride, but I never gave in to unreasonable demands. The entertainment industry is full of sharks, but in the end, it's all about people. Most artists understand that we are not their enemies, even if there are clashes. Above all, I didn't want adult circumstances to ruin the feelings of fans and artists. The artist's works remain, but you never know when you might not be able to see them perform live again. We industry people must always remember that we have the responsibility to connect fans and artists. I'm now 64 years old. It's time for me to retire physically and age-wise. But a final event I wanted to realize came up. Our company was chosen to handle the US tour of the popular idol group Univa, which has recently been a big hit in Asia. I was determined to make this event a success. Why am I so fixated on this idol group's tour? Well, it involves my personal reason. Somewhat embarrassingly, I have a daughter named Amy. My wife and I supported her dream by giving her instruments and lessons since she loved singing. One day, Amy left home saying she was going to see the world. And now, Amy is the center of a popular group abroad. I was strongly opposed and haven't kept in touch much, but my wife seems to keep in regular contact with her. After enduring harsh lessons and auditions, she has become a well-known singer. My work kept me busy, and it eventually led to me and my wife parting ways. Looking back, I might have been escaping into work to fill the void left by Amy. It's common for a stubborn man who neglects his family to end up lonely in his later years. Well, my wife understood my work, so we parted relatively amicably and still contact each other occasionally. I love my job. It's a result of continually facing the fact that it's not all smooth sailing, just like human relationships. Though I couldn't be much of a family man to Amy, I'm proud she has fulfilled her dream. and I want to give her a proper send-off. As someone whose only talent is work, I wanted to do whatever I could to set the stage for my daughter's big moment. But where on earth did she get that stubbornness from? Just so you know, I didn't use any connections. Our company worked hard negotiating with the other company, and we finally secured the contract. My daughter returned to America in a blaze of glory through her own talent, so there's no way I could ride her coattails. I never expected things to get this messy, though. After the contract was finalized, we had our first meeting to greet the other party. Thank you very much for choosing our company.
You must be Ken Brown. We're honored to work with you. My name is David Miller.
When we exchanged business cards, David came across as a polite man, but there was something about him that felt untrustworthy. He's well known in the event and entertainment industry, but frankly, he treats artists and collaborators like tools of the trade. He's a real industry shark. His roots are in Asia, and when Asian pop became popular, he brought many idols and actors to the US, but his aggressive methods caused significant losses for many involved. I never expected him to rise to the position of a major agency's representative. Since this was my last big job, I had to handle him carefully.
Without further ado, our company has created a visual image for Univa's upcoming performance. Please take a look.
At David's command, the screen in the conference room lit up, and we were stunned into silence. It was a silence so profound you could almost hear the screen shaking. Projected on the screen was the 5-member idol group Univa, but they were holding toy guns. Their outfits were all military style, with tactical vests, dog tags, and combat boots. However, upon closer inspection, it was clear that the image was generated by AI. It wasn't them in person. Asian pop music is very popular right now. However, when you closely examine the lyrics and visual elements, propaganda sometimes becomes apparent. Of course, not all idols from those countries hold such ideologies. In fact, Univa is a traditional pop group that has gained immense popularity, with a skilled African-American dancer and a Japanese-American girl who raps and DJs on stage. And most notably, the lead vocalist is an American named Amy. Their performance, brought to life by international and talented members, is captivating. Naturally, we expected to show the true Univa in America, so it was no surprise that we were dumbfounded by the sight of them in bizarre cosplay, generated by AI. The project proposal was very well done, clearly outlining everything from stage setups to merchandise, making the ridiculous performance even more conspicuous. However, the stage featured tank-like objects, and the merchandise had phrases like "defeat enemy" designed on them, filled with an absurd level of propaganda. I started to worry if such contrived performances could be accepted by fans, and wondered if the president understood this. More than anything, it was disheartening to see a caricature of my daughter in the center, wearing a strange beret and holding a gun. Excuse me, David, was this image originally decided upon?
This is my idea. I have full authority over this performance.
Unintentionally, I put my head in my hands. When I looked up, I clearly saw a small wrinkle forming between David's eyebrows. Have the artists agreed to this direction? How much of their wishes are reflected?
As I've said repeatedly, I have full authority over this performance. Do you have any complaints?
David's tone grew increasingly harsh, with a menacing edge in his final words. But I couldn't back down. To be frank, this visual is far removed from the image American fans have of Univa. I believe it would be more advantageous to stick to their standard image. David was furious. He pounded the table repeatedly, shouting at me in a loud voice.
What's wrong with reflecting my motherland's slogan? Are you mocking my identity?
Has there ever been such an immature meeting in the past? I slowly exhaled to calm my rising emotions and spoke to David once more. In a measured tone, we do not deny anyone's identity or ideology. However, we believe our job is to deliver what the customers want and provide an environment where the artists can perform their best.
Don't be ridiculous. All orders have already been placed. It's too late to change anything now.
Your anger is understandable, but we would have appreciated a consultation. We're considering covering the expenses from the revenue, so please reconsider. David stood up abruptly, nearly flipping the conference table, and stormed out, shouting at me in what I assumed was his native language. The conference room buzzed, but it seemed that the other employees hadn't been informed by David at all and were quite confused. What a dictator. We, the event company, apologized profusely and later requested another meeting, then headed back. Even after a few days from that disastrous meeting, we still hadn't heard from David. In the meantime, squeezing in between their tour schedule, the members of Univa came to our office to greet us through the headquarters. The polite and friendly girls expressed their gratitude, and we gave them small gifts in return. The atmosphere was very different from the other day and quite pleasant. During this, I couldn't quite believe that Amy, whom I hadn't seen in 3 years, was now a superstar standing straight and greeting us. She was called Sarah by names I didn't know, and when she found me, she stuck out her tongue slightly and winked, looking a bit embarrassed. I was confused but didn't feel bad at all. After the greetings, Amy approached me during a coffee break. Seeing each other after such a long time, we both felt an awkward tension, not knowing where to start. "Don't you have to go back to work?" I asked, and Amy replied, "I have some free time until the next job." Feeling the awkwardness, I decided to dive into a work-related topic. "Are you okay with those outfits? They seem quite different from your usual image."
No way. We just found out about them yesterday and everyone thinks they're terrible. We've asked the assistant to check with headquarters if we can change them.
I thought so. Actually, I also had some issues during the meeting.
Is that guy crazy? I'll let you know if we hear anything.
After returning from the break, which ended with a dull work conversation despite our long-awaited reunion, I found the office in an uproar. According to the staff, news about Univa's American tour had hit the internet. Of course, the ridiculous cosplay images were used as promotional photos. David must have done something again. I dialed the number on the business card I had exchanged. "David, what is the meaning of this?"
Oh, Ken, nice to hear from you. As you suggested, I reviewed the concert. As a result, we've decided to handle it ourselves.
I could hear David's smug chuckle over the phone. "Wait a minute. What about the bookings and the setup?"
It's Univa, the silent child will come later. No worries.
That can't be true. Even if fans come for the name, poor management will make the artists uneasy, and it'll show to the fans. David didn't understand this fundamental and crucial aspect of running such events. With things like this, there's no way you can deliver a satisfying performance. Are you considering the girls' well-being at all?
Ken, it's none of your business how we run our company. But if you insist, you could come over and we might reconsider.
Understood. I'll be there immediately. I dashed out and caught a taxi. On the way, I called Amy. "Hello, Amy. This is a disaster."
I don't understand. What is he thinking?
"I'm heading to David's office now. Let me know if you find anything.
Dad, let me help if anything comes up. I'm Univa's Sarah, after all.
I never thought Amy's words, which I was supposed to protect, would be so encouraging. When I arrived at David's company, the receptionist guided me straight in. I took a deep breath to calm down and headed to the room where David was waiting. When I entered, David looked at me with a triumphant grin. "David, could you please provide a satisfactory explanation?"
I've been expecting you, Ken. As I mentioned on the phone, we've decided to handle the concert independently. Unfortunately, our contract with your company is terminated.
"Why are you doing something so unreasonable? The members just visited our office today." Seeing my genuine confusion, David sneered.
Artists belong to the company, so the company's wishes are the artist's wishes. I guess someone like you wouldn't understand.
Although his words were quite polite, I decided to push our conversation forward. The members were also confused. I think handling this properly from now on would prevent any trouble for everyone involved.
Do you want this job so badly? Well, of course you do. The economic impact of our Univa is massive. But Ken, we can't work with a company that doesn't consider the artist's intentions.
His retaliation made me feel anything but calm inside. Indeed, having a global artist come to America has a significant economic impact. With concert revenue and potential sponsorships, the figure wouldn't be less than $50 million. However, that didn't concern me. I just wanted to make the concert a success.
So Ken, I'm sorry, but all contracts with your company are terminated.
David puffed out his chest with a triumphant look on his face. "I apologize for the disrespect towards you, David. Could you please reconsider?" As I lifted my head, David's face mocked me, as if to say, "Do you think that's enough?" "I apologize for the rudeness during the previous meeting. However, this is not a wise decision. Please think about it as a business matter, not a personal one."
Business? In business, the one with the product holds the power.
Business should be agreeable to customers, partners, and artists alike. David didn't even look at me anymore. He was fiddling with his phone, clicking his tongue.
If you want to do business with me so badly, you should show the proper attitude.
I apologized for my overstepping remarks. David's thinking truly disgusted me, but I had to endure it. This was the least I could do for Amy, whom I hadn't been able to spend enough time with due to my work. For that, I had to endure everything. Endure. Endure. I kept repeating to myself.
That kind of apology won't change my mind. Are you sure about this? Your company will not only lose $50 million, but also make enemies worldwide.
What should I do?
Make me satisfied. It's simple, isn't it?
At that moment, my phone rang in my breast pocket. David was momentarily taken aback, but quickly sneered.
Go ahead, answer it. Maybe it's a call from your saving grace.
Hoping it would help me calm down, I looked at the phone screen. As it turned out, David was right. It was Amy. "Hello."
Hey, Dad, are you okay? Where are you? Things are crazy here, too. Headquarters is in chaos because the American representative went ahead with the contract without consulting them.
I was just discussing that with David. It seems he's terminated our contract.
What? We haven't heard a word about this. Let me talk to him.
I was surprised by the caller and glanced at David's face. Oh, right. My Amy was Sarah from Univa. This job couldn't proceed without her. "David, someone wants to talk to you. Someone you know well." At that moment, I saw David's triumphant smirk falter. He looked at me and the phone I offered, his face showing puzzlement, then took the call. David's expression tightened, and he started speaking in his native language, just like during the meeting.
Why are you on this call? What? No way.
Unlike before, he now looked like a child making excuses to his mother. It seemed the call was over. David looked at me in disbelief.
How do you know Sarah's number?
It seems the goddess of victory really exists. A while later, Amy stormed into the president's office, her shoulders tense. She marched over to David, nearly pressing her forehead against his as she began to berate him.
Do you even realize what you've done? Your lame promotional photos are getting trashed on social media. It's unbelievable.
Amy continued to berate David with such intensity that it seemed like she might strike him at any moment. I intervened, sitting down at the coffee table between the now completely subdued David and my daughter. It became clear that David was nothing more than a hired president and had no real understanding of his own artists. He didn't even know there was an American in Unova.
Why does Ken know Sarah's contact info?
David, unable to comprehend that the key artist was turning against him, kept asking Amy as if in a trance.
Why? Because he's my dad. Of course, he knows how to contact me.
I had never told anyone that Amy was my daughter. As I said from the beginning, Amy achieved her dream on her own, and I didn't want to interfere with her career. But now I realized that explaining our relationship when the contract was signed might have smoothed things over. And there were also some personal reasons why I couldn't openly call her my daughter.
Father and daughter? Really? You have different last names. Oh, I get it. He's a sugar daddy, huh? I'll expose this.
A drowning man will clutch at a straw. In my line of work, I've dealt with many tricky people over the years, but never anyone as despicable as this.
You're really insensitive. My parents are divorced.
Unable to find the words to address David, Amy shouted loud enough to echo through the building. I saw David's eyes widen even more. Did Amy notice me holding my head in my hands beside her? David had navigated the entertainment world with aggressive tactics, tolerated only because he produced results. But this time, he had stirred public opinion in an unexpected way. And it was no wonder. The name Unova combines unity and universe, symbolizing a borderless union in the genre of pop music. The over-the-top propaganda in the promotional photos went against this core concept, causing a public outcry.
Do you even understand the concept of Unova? This knockoff idol design is so tacky. We're not your tools. Your work is worse than a school festival.
Having his shoddy work completely denounced by an idol he thought of as just a tool turned David's face bright red.
How dare you speak to me like that? I'm in charge of your affairs in America. If I want, you won't perform here, and public opinion will turn against you even more.
Before David's sneer could reappear, Amy responded immediately.
That's fine. Look at the replies to the promotional photos you posted on social media.
David's expression kept shifting between tension and slackness. He was a busy man. Watching David hastily scroll through his phone, I checked as well. There we were. Two grown men hunched over our phones, while Amy stood tall and composed. It must have been a surreal sight. Seeing everyone calling Amy Sarah online felt strange. Looking up her name on the photo sharing site quickly brought up the poorly done image, which had been defaced with black scribbles over the outfits. And the caption said,
The picture of the advertisement that has spread is one that we are not involved in. We do not hold up propaganda that supports a particular ideology, and we are not part of it. If it interferes with our genuine expression, We will boycott the performance. P.S. To all our American fans, sorry. We promise to come see you. By Sarah.
As I finished reading, I turned to look at Amy beside me. The profile of the girl I had always thought of as innocent and straightforward was now that of a poised professional. If only you had some professional integrity. Amy began, addressing David.
Let's talk as professionals from here on. My stage name is Sarah. This name is a translation of my given name, Amy, which my parents gave me, into the language of the country where I am now working. In other words, your country's language.
The two men could only listen, holding their breath. While I absorbed her words, David trembled.
This name represents my dream of becoming a singer, which I achieved in the country I reached after crossing the ocean. It also shows my respect for the friends and fans who accepted me. We, Univa, are committed to delivering our music to people all over the world and making them feel good. If any unnecessary agendas trample on the feelings between us and our fans, we will boycott.
Amy's words carried the weight of countless emotions and reflections. David, faced with the gravity of the situation and a severe rebuttal, was completely frozen. The sound of the intercom in the president's office brought time back to normal, breaking the warm yet cold silence. David, please take the call. Finally snapping back to reality, David hesitantly picked up the receiver and began speaking awkwardly in his native language. I whispered to Amy, making sure David couldn't hear. Hey, what's he talking about?
He's groveling in the politest way possible. It's pathetic.
When David returned from the desk to the coffee table, his steps were as heavy as if he just finished a marathon.
It was headquarters. The members, through their assistant, have declared a boycott. Fans are flooding us with complaints, and the sponsors are furious.
Seeing David pale and holding his head in his hands, Amy and I exchanged glances. Amy stuck out her tongue and gave me a small peace sign. Seeing this, I was confident the issue would soon be resolved.
Headquarters insists that the American tour must be successful. Ken, you're a professional, right? Please help us out.
Seeing David's sudden shift to a weak demeanor, Amy looked like she was about to lash out again. I stopped her and decided to wrap this up quickly. Amy had done her part as a professional. Now it was my turn. So, you'll be continuing the contract with us? David nodded, trembling slightly. First, we need to focus on damage control. We should hold a press conference immediately to apologize and address the fans. Our company will start preparing for the conference right away. Amy kept her eyes on me as I spoke. We'll have Univa explain the situation and announce the American tour. But before that, David, you need to apologize and explain yourself. David looked at me with a horrified expression.
You still want to embarrass me?
You need to take responsibility for your mistakes. That's part of the job. You need to set things right. Silence fell over the president's office again. This was the end of the conflict. After that, we'll discuss the details through our companies. Excuse us. I called Amy, and we left David's office. The next day, a press conference was held, where David, trembling and small, offered a formal apology and explanation. It was a pathetic sight. Shortly after David left the stage, Univa members took the stage for their conference. Each member spoke sincerely about their respect for the fans and their commitment to their expression, displaying the same poise as Amy, which impressed me greatly. At the end, I watched from afar as Amy, now Sarah, the professional performer, spoke.
I am honored to stand before our fans in the country where I was born, with my team members whom I met abroad, thanks to the efforts of all involved. Since leaving home as a teenager and entering this world, I have always cherished my dad's words. You can only be happy if you fill someone else's heart. This sentiment is shared by all our members. Please come and see us as we truly are.
The room erupted in applause, but I felt detached. The officially announced poster for the American tour featured the real Univa, free of any contrived agendas. The curious gazes once directed at us were now replaced with warm respect. After the press conference ended, I was still standing behind the lights in a daze when I noticed Amy looking at me from the wings. She playfully stuck out her tongue and smiled mischievously at me. From the next day, my company was incredibly busy preparing for the highly anticipated Univa American tour. Univa's office sent a new representative from the home country to replace David. He was a dedicated professional who spoke English and cared deeply about the artists. It didn't take long for us to get along, and the work progressed smoothly with light-hearted banter. One day, after work, as we were having dinner, David's face popped into my mind. By the way, what happened to David? Taking a sip of beer, the new representative hesitated before speaking.
Oh, David was fired, causing such a scandal. Our company is also holding him accountable for damages.
That made sense. I figured as much, I thought, when the new representative leaned closer and whispered,
Rumor has it that he had some shady dealings with some bad people due to the unauthorized merchandise and promotional designs. After the press conference, he was left humiliated, and now he might be on the run.
Hearing this, I just thought, well, that figures. But somehow, the beer tasted a little better than usual. Univa's American tour was a huge success, with the stadium selling out quickly. Their music streams and merchandise sales soared, bringing in more revenue than expected, ironically perhaps thanks to David. The members were all fired up, and the shows were outstanding, making my last job a perfect one. The day before the final performance, I finally met the members in person. Amy had been talking about me and her mom to the members, making us both feel a bit shy. But it felt like my work-centric life was finally justified. After the final rehearsal, as I saw the members off, Amy ran up to me.
Dad, Mom's coming to see the show tomorrow.
Oh, she managed to get a ticket? I tried to play it off casually, but I felt like I was the only one stuck in time in our family.
Hey, let's all meet up, the three of us after a long time.
With Amy's words, the one who had grown the most, I finally felt like I could be part of the family again.